Okay, the victorious Virginia Cavaliers are here. We're being joined by catcher Robbie Coman, pitcher Artie Lewicki, and pitcher Josh Sborz. We'll start with a opening statement from head coach Brian O'Connor.
Thank you. I'd first like to congratulate Ole Miss on a terrific season. Outstanding players, very well coached, and we're just very, very fortunate. I'd first like to say that our team, these last 3 weeks has played with an incredible amount of poise, and I really believe at championship time, it takes poise and patience to prevail. So I'm just proud of our guys. Josh Sborz was really outstanding, to start last night and throw one inning and come back today and pitch in the clutch like he did really speaks to who he is. And the final thing I'd say is, everybody talks about it all the time that, the game of baseball is how you handle and deal with failure, and how much you can learn from it, and how much better these baseball players will be as people, having gone through the failure that the game sends us. And, I just think about this ball game, and I think about the struggles Danny Pinero had early on, the ball that he didn't get rid of right away at shortstop that led to a run. I think, and him coming back and making all the plays and getting a big hit. And I think about Robbie Coman, striking out there in the second inning with an opportunity to drive in our first run, and then he comes back and gets 2 knocks. And I think about Joe McCarthy trying to sacrifice Bunham with first and second, nobody on, and he doesn't get the job done, but he comes back and, drives the ball in the gap. I think about Brandon Downs that, here this guy is so talented and, has been dealing with, wrist injury all year and maybe wasn't performing up to his capability all year. And, he rises up on the biggest stage and barrels 3 balls up and helps his team, advance here in Omaha. So I'm just so proud of, these guys sitting here at the table and all the guys back in the locker room, because they're handling things the right way on the field and showing an incredible amount of poise, and we're very proud to be moving on.
Again, we'll take questions. Please raise your hand. We'll bring a microphone to you, and we'll start in the yellow in the front.
Brian, you talked about everybody coming back. Obviously, it wasn't the best start for you coming back today with those first couple innings. Did you have any level of concern? I know you've always been talked about how confident you are in this team in any situation. Did you have any concern about how bad that start was? Did you think you guys would come back?
Well, I'd be lying to you if you tell you when they have bases loaded and that there isn't a little bit of uneasiness. I think that's normal, but I go back to this team and the calmness and the poise that it's shown all year long in difficult situations, and that makes you feel good and comfortable as a coach. And we all had confidence in Josh. He showed what he's capable of doing. I mean, think about it, after starting last night and coming back and doing what he did. I was confident that some way we'd figure out a way.
Second row on our right.
Mark Giannotto from the Washington Post. This is for Robbie and Josh. Could you talk about that third inning and that mound visit from Carl? It seemed like both you guys were a little rattled at that point, and from that point on, it was smooth sailing. But just talk about what it took to get through that inning, how you managed it, and.
I think Carl does a great job of coming out there and calming down our pitchers, and getting them back focused on what the objective is and throwing strikes. And I mean, that situation, it's a tough one, and I think Josh did a great job of just managing it and went back throwing strikes. And like you said, from there, he was just smooth sailing.
What he really told me was just let him hit your stuff, basically, and just stop trying to miss the bats. And right after that, it kind of all fell into place.
Front row.
Doug Dowdy from the Roanoke Times. Brian, what were your thoughts last night before they called the game and then after the game, and do you think it favored either team?
I don't think it had anything to do with favoring one team or another. Obviously they had played the day before, so maybe gives their bullpen a little bit more rest. But, when you're in the Final Four and you're playing for a chance to go to the title series, it's just, it's who goes out there on the field and takes care of business and does the job to win for their team. So I don't think it gave anybody an advantage at all.
Front row here on the left.
Brandon Speck, Fox Sports South. Coach, obviously nothing disappointing about the run you guys have made this year, but what's the pressure, if any, like to get over that hump and win a championship?
I'm sorry, what was the end of that?
What's the pressure like to get over that final hump and win a championship?
I don't think there's any pressure. I mean, we've never been in this scenario before. Maybe if we had been in this situation, multiple times before and hadn't done it, we're not really concerned about it. We're concerned about playing a good baseball game on Monday night. I'll tell you, our first 5 or 6 years here, we were in a NCAA regional every year, and there were a lot of people saying, what does it take to get over the hump and get to Omaha? And we figured that out. So this team isn't concerned right now with, do we need to get over a hump? We're just concerned about coming out and playing tough and playing a good baseball game on Monday night.
Back here in the yellow one.
Robbie, up until that point in the third inning, it had been kind of a rough couple innings for you. But that at-bat obviously kind of broke things open. Were you going up there maybe trying to make up for anything? Kind of walk us through at-bat. How good did that feel to have that after the rough start?
Well, I mean, I'm sure I was a little nervous to start, but like you said, you get second opportunities in this game, and I really wanted to take advantage of it. But I was just trying to hit the situation, wasn't trying to do too much, just a usable pitch that I could, send somewhere in the outfield, and it worked out for the best.
All right, Mitch in the back.
Mitch Sherman, ESPN.com. Coach, how good do you feel about getting out of here today and having Kirby ready for Monday?
Well, I feel great, really. That was our plan. We certainly had a tremendous amount of confidence in Josh. And, we went with Josh today because we felt he was the best guy to give us a chance to win. And certainly, it sets you up good for starting on Monday with Kirby having not pitched a second ball game. There was absolutely no way, 0% chance that I was going to throw Nathan Kirby today. Because had I done that, potentially he could come back Wednesday and I would never pitch him on 3 days rest. So Josh was the right guy, combined with Artie and Nick. I think about Artie Lewicki, and he's pitched out of the bullpen here 3 times and has been fantastic. And he's started every game in his career, and he's been very, very unselfish and has done a heck of a job coming out of his pen, helping his team win.
In the back on the right, Rich.
Rich Kipist, Omaha World Herald. Brian, how much time last night did you spend thinking about the opportunity you had when you got back here with the 2 runners on and none out? And then did you take a deep breath after nothing came of that, after thinking about that all night?
No, there really wasn't much to think about. Coach Mack and I talked about it. The thing to do was, to advance the runners, and unfortunately it didn't work out. But, you continue to do those things and take care of the game, as we say, that's in front of you. The game rewards you. And, it was absolutely the right decision. We didn't come up with anything, but our guys didn't panic, and we stayed with it.
Front right, Kendall.
Kendall Rogers, perfect game. Brian, just talk about the job that Josh has done here the past couple of weeks. I mean, he's been pretty good.
Josh Sborz has been fantastic. I mean, this is what it's about. The guys are number 2 starter all year long. The coach makes a decision to switch things up going into the final ACC regular season weekend, and Josh doesn't start for 3 weeks, but he's not in the coach's office wondering what's going on. He's a total team guy, and when you carry yourself that way, I believe you get rewarded, and he was rewarded in Game 3 in the Super Regional against Maryland. He couldn't have pitched any better, and he deserved the opportunity that he had last night and today. And when you think the right way and you're in it for the right reasons, it rewards you.
We'll go to Aaron in the front row, and then second row, and then the gentleman in the middle.
Aaron Fitt, Baseball America. Coach, I feel like you've done this a little bit before with the role that Artie's in. It kind of reminds me of Tyler Wilson. And how important is it when you get to this stage to have that kind of bridge guy in the bullpen you can trust? And Artie, could you comment on your approach in that role? Is it any different from how you approach starting?
Well, I'll talk first. I think it's huge. Omaha, the World Series is how it's laid out is so different than anything we experience all year from the standpoint of the separation of the games. So, we made a decision, Coach Kuhn and I. We talked about it and went to Artie, and our plan, Aaron, was not for the entire tournament. It was, okay, let's pitch Artie out of the pen game 1 and see where we're at. Artie Lewicki's a strike thrower. He's got outstanding stuff. I'm sure the Detroit Tigers are very happy that they selected him. And, fortunately, it's worked out, and he's appeared in all 3 games. All 3 games have been tight. And, he's just stepped up for his ball club in an important role.
Artie, you want to answer that too?
To answer your question about the approach, I think, anytime you're going to go in a game, you want to collect the outs and throw strikes. I think the main difference would be your preparation before the game. As a starter, you have a little bit more time. You probably get like about an hour, go through your routine, and just do what you need to do to get ready and pace yourself. That's kind of what you have to do in the game. But in the bullpen, it's exhilarating. You go out there, you do some stuff to get ready, and then as soon as the phone rings, you got to get on it and get rolling. And it takes a lot less to get hot, but it's definitely cool.
And we'll do our final question in the front middle.
Yeah, Josh, could you talk about coming back from those 7 pitches yesterday? What kind of approach you took, and had you ever been in a situation like that before?
I took this like a reliever's approach where, you pitch a few pitches the first game and then you're going to go out the next day and throw some more. And I basically took it inning by inning and just trying to throw as many pitches as I possibly could to save the bullpen.
Thank you very much, man.